So I'm out on today's walk and it looks like there's an iceberg out there. I'm sat down here on the bench and you can see the iceberg out there. I'm going to zoom into it right now. Pretty far away, but it looks pretty big. It's a nice view to look at from here on the bench. So welcome back to my corner of the internet, guys. Today I just wanted to talk about 5 reasons why I walk every day and why I think you should as well. So just going out for a walk sounds so simple. Like, how could that help your mental health in any significant way? And I thought that way for a long time as well. I kind of resisted what everyone said, how it was supposed to help me. And for a long time, I just brushed it off and didn't try it. I would go through periods of time where I would walk like once or twice a week, and then it didn't completely cure my depression, so I would stop, which is a funny way to think now that I look back at it. But I've been walking every day for over a year now, and honestly, I can say it's one of the biggest things that's helped me manage my mental health and get better. Not cure my depression or anything, but help manage it and help me move towards getting better and improving my life. That's a big thing about managing your mental health. When you're in a state where you're struggling a lot, you're kind of looking for those quick fixes. And I'm sorry to tell you, but those quick fixes aren't really a thing. And getting better takes a lot of work, but it's really worth it. I'd say managing your mental health and getting better is more so a bunch of small changes and habits over time, instead of, doing one thing like going for walks and that cures everything. It's more like those daily walks are a piece of the puzzle. So the first big reason that I walk every day is it gets me out of my current environment. Sometimes I have days where I'm sitting inside a lot, and it gives me a lot of time to get in my head and think about things, ruminate on thoughts, and it's hard to get out of those thought patterns when you're just sitting there, staring at TV or your phone or whatever. So sometimes I'll just get up, break out of that cycle, go for a walk, and I find that helps me a lot. It helps me get out and just, clear my head, be mindful in the moment, and instead of focusing on those thoughts that are sending me down a spiral or making my mental health worse, allows me to be in the moment and focus on what I'm doing right in that moment, which is obviously going on a walk. The second reason I think you should start walking every day is it's been shown to boost your mood. Just being out in nature, in the sunlight, in nature like I am right now, in this trail that I've never been in before. And kind of going back to that last point I was saying where you're stuck in the house ruminating on your thoughts. Instead, you're out in nature, hearing the birds chirp, smelling the pine trees, focusing on your senses instead of just sitting with your thoughts, which helps you clear your head instead of sitting with those thoughts that you're ruminating on and those negative thought patterns that you're stuck in. And there's the physical movement aspect as well that has been known to increase your mood as well. And it doesn't have to be, going for a run or going to the gym and doing an hour workout. It can just be a simple walk through the woods like I'm doing right now. Peaceful. Focusing on the sounds and what you see and what you smell. It really does a lot for your mind, your mental health, and as a bonus, the movement gives you physical health benefits as well, especially if you're consistent with it, which I have been this past year. I'm coming up on 40 pounds now. There have been other changes that contributed to that as well, but I would say walking every day is a huge one. The third reason I think you should walk every day is because it just gives structure to your day. Times where my mental health are at its worst are when I don't really have structure to my day. And I feel like I don't really have any objectives for that day. This more so impacted me when I was unemployed for a few years, because I was spending a lot of my day just not doing anything, playing video games. And I thought that was fine at the time, but it really wasn't. I didn't have any structure. I'd wake up whenever I wanted, go to bed whenever I wanted. And really, I felt like I had no reason to just be alive, I guess. And that really impacts your mental health. So yeah, just getting out and knowing you have something that is on your schedule that you want to do every day, going for a walk. It helps more than you think. And like I've said in my other videos, it doesn't have to be every day, whatever's manageable for you. If every day feels overwhelming for you, start small. You don't always have to go all in. Starting off, you can start out one day a week. You know yourself better than I do, so, if you think you can do once a day, perfect. But if you can only do once a week, start off with that and see if you can increase it from there as time goes on. I'm more of an all-in person, so last year when I started walking every day, I just immediately went straight to walking. I actually walked twice a day. Obviously, I had a lot of time on my hands at that point because I didn't have a job yet. So I was walking twice a day, getting about 10,000 steps in, which is, I guess, the baseline that you usually see. I don't really know if there's any science to that or anything, but that's usually what I aim for. Around 10,000 steps, I'm not super strict about that. If I hit 9,000, that's better than 2,000, right? It doesn't have to be 10,000 every day. So reason number 4, this is one of the big ones for me. It just gives me time to process my thoughts without any distractions. It's a more important thing than you think. I was watching a video from, I think it was a Harvard psychologist a few months back, and he was saying how our brain needs distraction-free time and boredom to just process thoughts. And I know for a lot of people in today's day and age, we're on our phones, we're watching TV, we're watching TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and we just never let ourselves be bored. And that's not great for us. And I know because I went through that. I was on TikTok a lot during my depression, and it completely shot my attention span. I could barely even talk to people without glancing down at my phone and scrolling through TikToks. Looking back, I feel so bad about that, but it was just a point in my life where I was really depressed, and I guess that was an escape for me. Just watching TikToks and numbing my brain. I wasn't allowing my brain to process its thoughts and emotions, and obviously that didn't work out well for me. So yeah, I highly suggest giving your mind some time to process thoughts, feelings, emotions without any distractions. And a walk is a perfect time to do that. I know a lot of people tend to put on headphones and listen to music, but just try going for a walk without music and listening to the birds chirp and the wind blowing and being mindful, like noticing those smells and the sounds and the gravel underneath your feet as you walk. And just think about how you're feeling lately, what emotions you've been feeling, what emotions you haven't processed, and let yourself process them without any judgment. And that can really help your mental health. It's kind of weird, I'm walking through a cemetery right now, but I was just walking through the woods and on a trail that I had never been on before and ended up out in a cemetery, so I'm walking back into the woods now. The 5th reason I think you should walk often is because it's just a small win for your day. There will be some days where you don't have much going on and you kind of feel like you didn't accomplish anything. But if you went for that walk, you can tell yourself, especially if you didn't want to go for that walk, you can tell yourself, I didn't want to go for that walk, but I did. And I can be proud of that. There have been many days where I didn't want to go for a walk, whether it be raining or snowing or really windy and cold. I've kind of used it as a way to practice my distress tolerance. Allowing myself to feel uncomfortable or cold or whatever, and realizing, it's okay, it didn't kill me. I didn't melt in the rain. I didn't blow away in the wind. I didn't freeze in the snow. It's so easy to come up with an excuse not to do something. And this past year, I've had plenty of excuses not to go for a walk. And sometimes I would even say it, I don't want to go for a walk, and I would give an excuse, and I would try to stop myself and say, no, I'm just going to do it anyway. Because avoiding things has got me to a place that I'm not happy with. And personally, for me, I kind of just got to a point where I realized what I was doing wasn't working. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So I basically started doing the complete opposite, walking every day, forcing myself to go for a walk, get some exercise, some time in the sun, some time out in nature, instead of sitting on the couch on my phone or watching TV, numbing myself and wasting my life away. So yeah, the daily walk has been a big thing for me. It's just a simple win that you can take every day. And you'd be surprised how good that can feel, just to say, even if I didn't do anything today, I walked, and I can be proud of myself for that. Because how many people out there come home from work, sit down, watch TV, and then go to bed? But you can say, I didn't do that. I went for a walk, even if I didn't fully enjoy it because, whatever the weather, or you weren't feeling it that day. But when you go out, when you don't want to, you're training your brain to recognize that it can do things it doesn't want to. And that will only do good things for you. It just started raining. It kind of looks like snow. I think it's in between the two. But and I knew that was going to happen because it's pretty cold out. But I said I'm going to go out anyway. I didn't go out yesterday. I was intending to film this video yesterday, but I didn't go out because it was pouring all day. I think that's a decent excuse with the camera and the microphone equipment that I have. But today wasn't too bad, so I was like, I'll go out today. Honestly, I didn't even necessarily want to. I was feeling anxious about filming out in public where people might see me. And I often feel that way when I'm making these videos because I just always felt that way throughout my life, and thinking people are judging me out in public. So that's something I'm working on. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I hope one or a couple or all of these reasons for walking entice you to start walking every day. Like I said earlier, it sounds really simple and you don't think it can impact your life very much, but it's just one tiny habit that you can incorporate in your life to go along with all those other habits to improve your mental health. And I highly recommend it. It's changed my life. I went from sitting inside all day, every day, to forcing myself to go outside for a walk most days. I've probably only missed my daily walk probably less than 5 times this year. When I don't have that daily walk, it feels really weird, and I can notice the impact it has on my mental health when I haven't gone out for my walk. It just clears the mind and kind of gives you a fresh start if you're feeling sad or anxious or mad or whatever, those negative emotions. And you go for a walk and you just allow yourself to be in the moment and be mindful. It's almost like a reset button. And if you know anything about therapy and all that, it's a healthy coping strategy to be able to face your emotions and sit with them and not judge them. And just be in the moment, be mindful. Don't let those emotions take over you. And a walk definitely helps with that. Just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate everyone that's been watching. I hope you got something positive out of this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you walk at all. I'm just curious how many other people walk often, and let me know what you've noticed it does for your mental health. I know everyone's different. I don't expect walking to have the same impact on every single person out there as it does with me. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps get my videos out to other people. And I'd really like to get my messages out to everyone that I can. It's really a passion of mine to spread mental health awareness, reduce the stigma with mental health, obviously, and encourage other people just to be open and talk about their own mental health like I am. And just remember, when things are tough, just take things one day at a time. Small improvements each day over a year really add up. And when you take things one day at a time, it's less overwhelming. And as time goes on, you start to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, just know that me, a random stranger that you probably don't know, believes in you, because I didn't believe in myself for a long time. And now I do. I've got through a lot this year that I never thought I would be able to get through. And here I am, stronger than ever. And you can do the same. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you later.